What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to talk. First, I want to say thanks to my subscribers because you guys help me believe that there are some positive people out there who are not getting taken back by this learning lesson that is going on in the government, meaning the recession. Because we're supposed to be going through this, because when you do the wrong thing, you get punished until you learn to do the right thing. So I don't like to call it a recession. I like to call it a learning lesson that is going on and taking place, and it's going to take some time to work out all the kinks, and once they do everything right, then we would no longer be in a recession. So what we're going through is actually a good thing. Now I'm going to give you guys a gift today, and I'm basically going to talk about one topic that is financially related, but I think a lot of you guys are suffering from, and that's the credit card. Alright, now there are some of you guys right now that is using their credit cards to like buy so-called emergency items, to buy food. You're buying these things and then you say, oh, I'll pay it off at the end of the month. Okay, now what I'm challenging you to do is to cut your credit card up, but after I explain why. Okay, now if you're over the age, I would say over the age of 25, you should be accustomed now to having, hopefully, over $10,000 in a bank account. Okay, now when you go get a credit card, usually the limits are $1,000, some are $3,000, some are $5,000, even some may be even $10,000. You go get a store card, it may be about $500 on a store card or whatever. But here's the deal: if you can't save $1,000 or $5,000 in your own account and set that to the side, you're doing something totally wrong. You're in a bad shape. Because here's the thing. Let's do some addition real quick. Let's do some math real quick. Let's say, for instance, you're a 25-year-old. Let's start 21. Let's say you're 21. And you're making, let's say, I don't know, at 21, you're making $2,000 a month, right? $2,000 a month take home. Now, you do this for over a year, right? That's $24,000. Okay? Now, I don't know what your standard of living is during this time, and are you overspending, or you got to shop at Banana Republic instead of Old Navy, or you got a BMW, or what you have, or maybe your nightlife may be out of hand, whatever. If you can't save at least $3,000 out of that $24,000 for the year, something is entirely wrong with you. $3,000 is the minimum. Okay? Because, guys, let's talk about what a credit card is. A credit card, all it is free money, right? I'm going to give you $100, but you pay me $150 for the $100 I've given you. But then for the ones that say, oh, I just pay it off at the end of the month, whatever, that happens sometimes. But what if an emergency happens and you can't pay it back? Now all of a sudden this debt is going to start piling up. Okay? Now take it from me, for instance. I don't use credit cards. If I have an emergency right now, I have an account that I set up with ING that I go directly to, and I take the money out of there. But it's my money. And guess what? When that emergency happens, I don't have to pay for it again and again and again. See, you guys with credit cards, you'll say, hey, let's go to Hawaii, right? You go to Hawaii and you spend some time in Hawaii. Let's say Hawaii is a 3-day, 4-night stay. You get back to the States, and then all of a sudden, an emergency comes. But you haven't paid off your trip from Hawaii. Now you're going to pay off your emergency, and you're going to make minimal payments to your trip to Hawaii because you don't just have all this money sitting around. Now let me give you another alternative. How about if you just but you just save maybe, I don't know, $200 a month for a year, which is $2,400. And if you wanted to step it up a little bit, save $300 a month. Cut back on some of the things that you may do during that month. And that's $3,600 for the year. Guess what? That's a credit card, but it's your money. See, when you have an emergency with your own money, as soon as you pay for the emergency, it's done. Now you're just sitting back waiting for the next one, right? Versus a credit card, sometimes you guys will charge that credit card up. Boom. Emergency comes, it hits you. You're still paying on that payment. Oh, you see some jeans that you want. Oh, boom. There you go. Oh, you go out to eat. Like, I'm going to put this on a credit card. I don't feel like spending my own money. Boom. There you go. Next thing you know, your debt is just piling up. You know, but guys, you're never going to get wealthy if you become a friend of debt. See, me, I no longer use debt. If it was up to me, I don't want to use debt for a house. But I may have to use debt for a house with the first house that I invest in. But the thing is that, hey, you know, I'm going to put a humongous amount down. Humongous. Because I don't want to be in debt. You're not going to get wealthy that way. So the best thing that you can do during this learning process in the government that's going on right now is to say, hey, I'm going to pay all this debt off minus my mortgage. I'm not going to live in debt. Debt is bad. I'm tired of going to the post office or going to my mailbox and there's always things that I need to pay and send out and things like that. Nah. If you need to send money out, you need to be sending money out to an investment and then it's bringing you money back into your home. Not sending it out and you never see it again. So I challenge all of the people who check out this video to cut your credit card up. We don't need credit cards, guys. Let's use cash money. Let's save our hard-earned money. Use cash money. Let's save for investments so we can pay for our emergencies and keep going. Instead of this piling up. You know, an emergency here. We haven't paid this one off and here comes another one. Now we got to pay for both of them. You know, and this is stressful. You know, you got your for those of you who have a mortgage, because I don't think you should have a mortgage unless you're done paying your debt. You shouldn't be in a house right now with credit card debt and school debt and things like that. You should have taken care of that before you even got into the house. And so for those of you who haven't got a house yet, don't let your friends talk you into getting one until you're debt free. Don't let your friends talk you into getting a home unless you have 6 to 8 months of expenses to live in a bank account. Because when you move into a home should be a blessing. You shouldn't be in a home like, how am I going to make my mortgage payment? And the only reason people are going through this process is because they didn't make the right steps at the beginning. They felt they were forced into a home because that's the so-called American way. You got to have a home. Or you're throwing your money away in rent. Let me tell you something. If you get into a home with a zero down and you sign up for a 30-year mortgage, all you're paying is interest. If you're paying your minimum payments, right, all throughout, you say, I'm going to have this house paid on 3 years, 30 years, whatever. You're no better than a renter. A renter who saves his money and keeps his money in the bank account and pays off his debt and has 6 to 8 months of expenses when he moves into a home and then puts 50% down on his home, he's better than you hands down. So don't let no one trick you or make you get into a home that you can't afford, because a lot of you guys are house poor, and then once you get into your home, you can't afford to save. You can't afford to put $500 to $1,000 a month in savings for investing. Nah, can't do it. So when I move into my home, I'm not pressured by the people, because the same people that are telling me to go ahead and get a home are the same people that ask you for money, are the same people that never can do things because they don't have enough money to do it because they're house poor. Okay? So that's my gift for you guys today. My gift is cut up the doggone credit card and don't move into a home unless you're ready. Because when you move into there's plenty of homes out there. There's plenty of deals out there. You should buy low. Because trust me, there's going to be a lot of idiots out there right now that's going to unload their home because they didn't get into it properly. And you can get a good deal from those guys. And go in there with a huge down payment and try to pay this home off as soon as possible. Then pay yourself that money and invest it. That should be the strategy. You know? So that's all for now. Just to say, don't get caught up in that doom and gloom. Don't get caught up in the recession. It's a learning process that's going on right now. Right? So until next time, see you later.